my way to a scrapyard in North High Point, North Carolina to possibly pick up a John Deere lawn tractor I seen there a little bit ago. And this is it, John Deere La110. It's seen some use but may not be used up. Now, I don't normally buy riding lawnmowers from the scrapyard, but this one seems to be unusually complete, and it checks my boxes for a possible revival. I'd be a buyer at no more than $150. It is a parts unit until I can saddle it and run every time. Hello everyone, I'm Big Al Cox. I got my price on the mower and I'm on my way home with it right now. The lady at the window says to me, "You know it starts and runs, right?" I said, "No, I don't know that at all." Then she proceeds to tell me the word is that a guy dropped it off claiming that it runs, but he had a new mower and just didn't want it anymore. Of course, that could mean anything. More like the mower has a problem and he don't want to spend the money to have a shop to fix it and figures he's done with it. But very few Johnsons are going to go buy a new mower if they have one that runs and cuts just fine. So chances are this mower has some kind of issue. I just hope it's an easy and cheap one. Or none at all would be nice. At the very least, it needs a battery in it before it will do anything. And a key. Okay, I'm back at the shop now with the La110. It's kind of late in the day. I need to get this thing off the trailer because I need that tomorrow. Also would like to take a little better look at it. It does have brakes. The shop is full, so I'm going to try to roll it to a spot I can keep it a few days. These are the specs of the La110. Of course, this is in the John Deere 100 series. It's a popular seller for John Deere with many homeowners who want something with above average quality. Tires will tell you a lot. These are about a 3 out of 10 all the way around. You can see the plug in this one on the front here. Yeah, new tires are definitely in order for this machine. That's about $150. That can wait a bit, of course. A double Miller beer holder there. You can put 2 Millers in that. This seat has a few cracks in it starting, but it's not totally blown up yet. Sorry, but this is a pet peeve of mine. You guys that tie your chutes up, either you're cutting the grass too wet, or it's too tall, or both. Don't torture your machine. Hillbilly engineering there, 101. The hood is all there. There are no cracks in it. It's in decent shape. A little fold on that guard down there. The engine is a Briggs & Stratton 19.5 horsepower overhead valve. These are fairly good engines. Could stand a good degreasing and cleanup. It's missing the battery, that's no surprise. Looking at the deck, it appears to be all there from what I can see. I have not seen any rust through or anything like that. The belt is there. It does have some wear to it. It's unusually loose around the pulley. Could be stretched or too long, maybe off track. I'll have to pull that and take a look at it before I engage it. When you get these mowers, look at the deck carefully before you try to run them. You never know. If there's a problem, it could do nothing, or all hell may break loose under there. Peeling John Deere paint. Guy must have been using a bagger from a Sears lawnmower. This has a Craftsman tag on it. This frame here, or this holder, looks like a bagger holder. Would have liked to have seen that feat of hillbilly engineering for myself. June 1st, 2007 is the birth date of this Deere, making it right at 18 years old right now. Overall, for its age, this unit is actually in fairly good shape. Cleaned up, running good with new tires on it. Could still be a $500 to $600 mower on a good day, depending on how many millers the guy's had and how good his eyesight is. At this point, I'd like to check some vitals of the engine, starting with the oil. It is black and needs to be changed, and it's almost alarmingly overfilled, but it doesn't really have a strong fuel odor. Taking a look now in the air filtration department. The pre-filter has almost totally disintegrated. Does have this convenient finger holder now. The main filter is old and used. It needs to go, but it'll do for a test start. Got to spend a few extra bucks and change the pre-screen. You're not really losing money so much. You could use this backing as a patch for your window screens. As if. The spark plug will be on the right side of the tractor at the front of the engine. This is a 5/8 deep well socket to remove it. It is wet with oil, actually. Now that could be because it's overfilled or something else is going on. Kinda cruddy also. RC 12YC is the plug. I have cleaned this one up. Good enough to start the engine with anyway. This is a battery actually out of my LT155, which has been sitting around a bit. I gotta put a new transmission drive belt on that. It shows 12 volts still, but this battery's got a couple of years age on it. I'm gonna let it sit and get a sort of refresh charge for about 20 minutes or so. The only missing piece I've discovered so far on this LA110 is a missing positive battery harness. The starter wire is there, but no positive cable. There's an accessory terminal that also connects to that harness. It's starting to get dark and the battery is still charging. I'm going to have to rig up something temporary until I can get the correct battery cable. So it looks like I'm going to have to be in suspense until tomorrow. Nothing a man can't do tomorrow. Not even knowing whether this thing's going to start yet or not, I went on eBay and ordered this positive battery cable harness. It's the next day and I am, yes, still in suspense as to whether my pile of junk from the scrapyard has any chance of becoming a princess again. I'm showing a 12-volt reading on the battery, should be good enough to at least turn the engine a minute or two. I need to look into the fuel tank and see if there's anything in there. It does have a tiny amount of fuel, not too rotten smelling. The fuel filter has so much crud and dirt on it I can't see what the element looks like. Hopefully I can get enough flow through it and flow through this system to at least run the engine. I have a key here for these 100 series tractors. I have also added in a good dose of Marvel Mystery Oil, and I have some starter fluid on standby in case I need it. And I have a temporary rig up for that positive terminal on the battery. Basically, I got a jaw clamp here with a wire ran down to the solenoid. I have a jump lead wire to the accessory plug. This ought to provide me a temporary test setup so I can see if the starter turns and the engine fires. Okay. Hillbilly engineering. Yeehaw! We'll just give it full throttle choke, see what happens. Well, that is what I wanted to know the past few days. Will this engine run and fire? Absolutely. Does it need some attention? Absolutely. I think a lot of the smoke's coming from a few different things. The oil reservoir is overfilled for one. Some of the gas in that tank is who knows how old. And I got a good healthy dose of Marvel Mystery Oil in there also, enough to turn the fuel red. So it's going to smoke a little bit with that coming through, but that's okay. A good first start from a scrapyard mower as it goes. I believe the transmission is okay. I can see the drive belt on the transmission pulley, and when I put the drive in engagement, the tractor will not roll. So I'm thinking when that positive battery cable comes, and if I can get it to start again, I want to be on it and engage the drive and see if there's any issues with that. I'd like to also pull and inspect that deck. If I think it may be okay to test, I want to engage that also and see what happens. All of that will be in hopefully a few days. I'm going to also stick that Napa battery back on the charger and put it in Tokyo drift mode for about 100 minutes. Okay, it's the next day, and after 100 minutes of Tokyo drift mode on the Napa battery charger, I think I got a good 14-volt reading on it. I also have my jump pack charged in case I need that as a backup. One of my biggest fans has joined me here today for this segment. We can say hello to Chrysalis, who's everybody's friend. I have a battery now reading 14 volts. I have received at lightning fast speed the used replacement positive battery harness from JK Amps on eBay. Great deals on power cables and other things. JK Amps on eBay. Already have a negative battery cable, so I'll have that one for something else one day. This is the setup the tractor needs, including the accessory cable hookup. Yeah, it's seen some use, but it's just fine. The other end that will connect to the solenoid has also seen some wear, but nothing to stop it from working for another 10 years. There's also a cable support. I'll have to figure out exactly where I want to put that. The battery terminal boot is in good shape, no rips or tears. I'm going to remove my hillbilly engineering test setup here. It served the purpose. Now the end of this cable without the boot on it will attach to the top terminal with the solenoid using a 1/2-inch socket or wrench. This is what that connection should look like, and I added a washer to my post there. And I looked through my hardware stash and I found a 1/2-inch bolt and nut. I want a good solid connection, and that should work. Now I can connect the accessory wire like that's supposed to be. Alright, everything's looking good. I have my battery in and all the wires are connected. The battery shows a 14-volt charge. I see no reason the starter shouldn't rotate the engine. I dropped the bottom of the carburetor and sprayed that out and made sure there was fuel flow. The plug has been cleaned. It's still overfilled with motor oil, but I'm just gonna see what'll happen, if anything, at this point. If the engine starts, I want to see if the transmission works. If it will stay running long enough, I want to engage the drive and determine if the tractor will move on its own. Let's see if Rudolph the La110 will run today. The steering and drive actually worked great on this LA110, and the little bottom spray out on the carburetor may have freed up some crap in that, but I still have the same heavy mixture of Marvel Mystery Oil and a little old fuel and a little new fuel on top of that. Be interesting to see how it runs with a good fuel purge, a new fuel filter, and a good spark plug. That may smooth it out even more. The thing that's mainly keeping me from engaging that deck is the fact that the drive belt is so loose. I'm afraid it's going to go nuts and squeal and yank its mangled remains through the whole track. There's nothing missing or out of place I can see on the deck looking at it under there, and the belt appears to run the whole track. Either the belt is worn and stretched, or during transport maybe somehow the belt got off track. Sometimes it can be like throwing a monkey wrench in a bunch of gears and you end up tearing the deck up. Shoot, holder, delete. Gladly. Bad hillbilly engineering. It's made out of a mower pull cord I can use for something else though. That's the good thing about it. I hear guys complain and say I don't want to take the deck off to change the belt or blades or do anything to it. Come on, it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to remove one of these 100 series decks. Really, it's a whole lot easier to work on out from under the machine. On the left and right sides of the tractor, remove this cotter pin and washer from the lift bar. And on the back draft bar, there's a washer and cotter pin also. Then you'll have the front draft bar washer and cotter pin to take out. On the deck, there's a cotter pin that holds the engagement cable to its mount. Remove that and pull back on the cable to release the cable from the holder. Then finally release the tension spring from its mount. Then you can raise your deck height adjuster back to the top and slide the deck out from underneath. I think the belt may have been installed in a twisted manner is the only thing I can really see going on here. No missing parts. It's the average dirtiness and needs a good cleanup. I may need to just remove that cover and pulley and get that twist out of the belt. I think I'm about to get rained on here. It's getting dark and I'm hearing distant thunder. Before I get run in, I'd like to take a look under the deck and see what that looks like. Okay, taking a look underneath. These blades may not have really seen that much use. I think that's the factory paint on them actually peeling off there, but those blades can absolutely be saved. There's no chunks out of them or anything. The typical deck grime that you can scrape off and clean up. Good old-fashioned spray painting, and this deck would be refurbished. Awesome, awesome. I don't have to buy blades. That's great. Okay, I'm hearing thunder, so I think I better pack it in for today. My good buddy Lisa Cavallero, Google her band Splashing Violet on the web. They got some great music. I did a podcast on the web for about 12 years called Cox Music Show, where I would play independent music artists. I did that like every 2 weeks for a season for 12 years. and it was a lot of fun. I met a lot of different people online. I even collaborated musically with some of them. It was a lot of fun. I kind of miss doing that. Okay, I slid that deck back up under there and hooked it back up. I'm kind of in between rain showers here too. This thing cranked up and ran earlier real easily. We'll see if it'll do it again. I want to know if the deck works. Wow. That is awesome. Yeah, the deck works. It starts up and actually runs good now. The more I run it, it seems to be running better and better. I'm totally blown away. I haven't really done anything to this mower other than put a positive battery cable on it, charge a battery and put it in there. Awesome. Okay, I have a little test patch of grass right here. It's probably good, maybe 4 inches. And I know I haven't done anything to the deck. I haven't sharpened the blades or anything like that. I'm gonna put the deck under a load here, see what it does. Let me go start the mower and I'm gonna drive it around and you'll see me come through. Well, as you can see, it actually cut some grass here. If the blades were sharp, I'm sure it'd do a lot better. And if the grass wasn't wet, we've had some showers too. But it works. Awesome. Reviving this machine called for a new positive battery cable harness. I cleaned the spark plug and blew out the current air filter element. I charged a battery and added fresh 90 octane fuel to the old raw gas in the tank, along with a healthy dose of Marvel Mystery Oil, and it's still feeding on that. It started and ran pretty rough to start with. I did drop the bottom of the carburetor and I sprayed some carb parts cleaner up in there, and I made sure that that fuel shutoff valve was working. The deck is functional and has no rust through. The blades are good and can be refurbished. It does need a thorough cleaning and lubrication, It could stand a new belt, but there's still a little use left in the current one. The seat is in a 7 out of 10 condition. The tires are in 3 out of 10 condition. Could definitely stand some new tires, but I'm going to get by with these for a bit. Overall, for $150 invested to start with, I think I did okay. I'll probably have around $375, maybe $400 in this tractor by the time I'm totally done. This mower sold for over $1,600 back in 2007. One like this now might be $2,400 or better. This unit in operating shape with new tires and looking good, I could probably sell it for around $600 on a good day, but I intend to keep this machine and make it pay for itself. On part 2 of the Scrapyard John Deere La110, I will get this mower back in reliable running order, including a tune-up and mower deck refurbish. Plus, I want to clean it up and make it look nice. So be sure to join me for that. I appreciate you watching. I'm Big Al Cox. Let me and others know about your experiences with the La110 lawn tractor. I look forward to making mine great again. Another save from the landfill. Until the next time, blessings from my shop to yours.